So welcome you all for the Moral Online classes. We are discussing the chapter wave optics. So in this wave optics, yesterday, we have discussed laws of reflection and laws of refraction by Huygens principle. Okay, Nara? So today we will start next means in properties of light. After reflection and refraction, we will study interference. Okay, Nara? So before starting the interference, first how does the behavior of prism, lens and mirror, spherical mirror, so towards a plane wavefront, whenever a plane wavefront is allowed to passing through a prism and allowed to passing through a lens and allowed to passing through a spherical mirror, so what will happen? First, related with the prism. So what is regarding the prism? So let me consider the prism here. Now one of the plane mirror was incident here. Now let me consider, so this is the direction and here this is the direction. So let me consider one plane mirror. So can I call that plane mirror name is AB? That plane mirror is allowed to passing through which one? So this, so can I call this point name is A dash, this one is B dash and this one is C dash. So my intention is to make this plane mirror to pass through a prism. But you know that. So when you are coming from top to bottom, the thickness of the prism is going to be increases. So light is now, according to the Huygens, light is in the form of wavefront. So how does that light will passing through this prism? Okay, Nara? So that I want to calculate, that I want to know. Now in this what happened? So due to increasing of thickness, when you are going from top to bottom, so light will start moving slowly. So what happened? So light will move slowly. Now what happened? The prism will be refracted and finally I will get so this is the output through this prism. So in this output, can I call this name is A dash, or otherwise I will call the prism name is so PQR. This is the name of the prism and the final output I got this is R, this I will call A dash. Are you getting Ara? Actually if you see here, so what happened? This above part is there, it will come first. The below part will come later. Why? Because it has to be travel less distance, it has to be travel more distance, and it will travel fastly, it will travel slowly, and that you know that. So light can travel with the velocity of light in air, okay, whereas the velocity value different based on the medium. Now what happened? So when I take a plane wavefront, I got plane wavefront only, but wavefront what happened? It will be bit tilted. So why? Because that is because of the prism. And in this what can I able to write is, so what is the value here I will get whenever in this prism. So what happened? This is my final output. So whenever a light ray passing through a prism, so it will come like this. Okay, just you should know. So what happened to the light ray when I consider a prism? Whenever if I allow a which one? A wavefront to passing through it. So now the wavefront will come like this. The upper part will come front and downer part will come slowly. That is the reason. So this is when it is passing through a prism. Now when I consider a lens, when it is passing through a lens, now let me consider one of the plane wavefront incident on the lens. Now whenever a plane wavefront incident on the lens, the thickness value more at the center and less at the edges. So due to that reason, so what happened? This light are the wavefront. So what is the wavefront name? Can I call AB? It has to be travel lesser distance at where so at the edges and more distance at so at the center. Due to that reason, there will be delay. The which parts will come first? So the upper parts will come first and the middle part has to travel the longer distance. So due to that reason, I will get the wavefront which is of spherical wavefront. So whenever a light ray passing through a prism, so passing through a lens, whenever a plane wavefront is passing through a prism, that plane wavefront will become spherical wavefront. What is the reason for getting the spherical wavefront? So this middle part will come slower and upper part and below part will come faster. That's why the plane wavefront will become which wavefront? So it will become spherical wavefront. Whenever a plane wavefront is passing through a lens, what will happen? Now when I consider a mirror, spherical mirror, so let me consider one concave mirror. So now I will consider a plane wavefront. If that plane wavefront was incident on this, so which one? That plane wavefront name let me call AB. Now that plane wavefront was incident or otherwise I will consider the plane wavefront like this. So this is B. Now whenever a plane wavefront incident on this mirror, so that you know that. So here curvature will be more compared with the edges. So due to that reason, what happen after reflection? I will get a wavefront. So which wavefront I will get? So I will get a wavefront. So this is the wavefront which will be obtained due to the light reflection. Actually what happened? So this wavefront will be reflected fastly at the top and bottom and slowly at the middle. So due to that reason, after reflection, so what happened to the wavefront will become spherical or cylindrical? So spherical wavefront. Just what you should know is how does a plane wavefront will behave whenever it allowed to passing through a prism, whenever it allowed to passing through a lens, and whenever it allowed to passing through a, so which one? Mirror. Through lens and mirror, when I take a plane wavefront, I will get spherical wavefront. Whereas in case of the prism, when I take a plane wavefront, I will get again the result also plane wavefront. Are you getting Ara? So that is behavior. After completion, now we'll start our topic that is interference. Interference. So very important topic, and I told to you the heart of this chapter. The majority of 60 to 70% questions are based on this interference only. So we'll get very important 2 questions. One question for 3 marks, one question for 5 marks. Either for subjective point of view or either for objective point of view. So this topic is very important. So what is interference? Before telling this interference, actually this interference phenomena you studied in waves chapter also. In oscillations after waves chapter is there, their interference of sound you studied. There already studied the theory of interference. Okay, Nara? So once before studying this interference is the phenomena due to the superposition of waves. Whenever the waves are fall over one over another, we will get this phenomena. So this phenomena is related with the superposition. Before interference, let me tell you what is the principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. So what is the principle of superposition? You know this, I think. So for example, when 2 or more waves are reaching a point simultaneously. Generally, a wave can be represented. When wave is propagating through medium, it displaces the particles of the medium. The displacement of the wave is given by the formula. If it is a simple harmonic wave, we'll write y is equal to a sin omega t. This all you studied in first year topic. Now, 2 waves are reaching a point simultaneously. So one wave displacement value is y1 and other wave displacement value y2. If 2 or more waves like this, if there are many number of waves reaching a point simultaneously, the net displacement value equal to, so y value is equal to, or y bar value is equal to y1 bar plus y2 bar plus y3 bar plus so and so yn bar. So this is called as principle of superposition. What is principle of superposition? States that whenever a 2 or more waves reaching a point simultaneously, the resultant displacement is equal to the vector sum of individual displacements. So y bar is equal to y1 bar plus y2 bar plus so and so yn bar. Since here displacement is a vector, we should go vector addition. Sometimes we need to calculate resultant scalar. That time we can go algebraic sum. So y bar is equal to y1 bar plus y2 bar plus y3 bar plus so and so yn bar. So I think you know this. Now for example, there are 2 waves are there. Superposition in the sense one wave is falling over another wave. And according to the Huygens principle, light is a transverse wave. Which wave? So transverse electromagnetic wave. So transverse wave will propagate in the form of crust and trough. So crust, trough, TROUGH. First year information. So crust, the position of maximum amplitude. So amplitude is maximum. What is the meaning of amplitude? The maximum displacement from the main position is called as amplitude. If the amplitude value maximum, so that position called as crust. If the amplitude value minimum, if the amplitude of minimum, so that is called as trough. So how does a transverse wave will propagate? In the form of crust and trough. Now whenever the crust of one wave is fall over crust of another wave and trough is coincide with the trough, first wave displacement is y1 and second wave displacement is y2, then the two waves are said to be superimposed in phase, then the resultant displacement given by y is equal to y1 plus y2. Y is equal to y1 plus y2. Can you remember this? Similarly, whenever the crust of one wave is coincide with the trough of another wave, if the two waves are superimposed like this, y is equal to y1 here, this is y2, two waves are said to be superimposed out of phase, then the resultant displacement is minimum, which is given by y is equal to y1 minus y2. So how they superimpose? In phase or out of phase? The phase angle will decide. So how the waves will be superimposing? In phase or out of phase? In phase, the resultant displacement value maximum. Out of phase, the resultant displacement value minimum. This principle is not new. Many times you used this principle in waves. In the formation of beats, we will use this principle. So in the formation of stationary waves, we will use this principle. Even the phenomena of interference also. Sound also will exhibit the phenomena of interference. There also will use this principle. Still I know many or don't know. So what is the purpose of this principle? When this principle has to be used? And what this principle will give us? This principle will give us when two or more waves reaching a point simultaneously. This is principle of superposition for waves. Principle of superposition for waves. When two or more waves reaching a point simultaneously, the resultant displacement is equal to the vector sum of individual displacements. This is called as principle of superposition. So we will use this principle many times in this phenomena. Now we'll see what is interference. Interference means what? What is interference? It's very important definition for 1 mark. What is interference? Before telling this, let me consider a source. Or I will give you an example. Now in a classroom, so I told to you this example while discussing the interference of sound also. In a classroom, for example, class is going on, only one lecturer is talking. He is giving a lecture. So what is the sound produced by the lecture? Almost it will be distributed uniformly for the entire room. Correct? But at the same time, now for example I told only in one particular time there is only physics class. But suddenly the new timetable came. What is that is? Physics, chemistry, maths at a time they have to take. When 3 persons are talking together, so what is their sound intensity will not be distributed uniformly. That sound intensity will be redistributed. At some places intensity of sound will be more, some places intensity of sound will be less. Now let me apply the interference phenomena for light. If there is a one source of light is there, if it is emitting the light, that light will be distributed uniformly in all directions. Now instead of one source, if there are two sources are there which are emitting the light, then again what happens? So light, because of the two sources, may superimpose in a particular region. Will you accept? So light coming from the S1 and S2 both are overlapping. So because of this overlapping, sound intensity will not be distributed uniformly. So that time what happened? So this interference will take place. What is interference? Interference is a phenomena of non-uniform redistribution of light intensity in a region of superposition of two or more ways. In a region of superposition of two or more ways. So this is the definition for interference. So each and every word is very important. It is a phenomena. In this phenomena, what happens? So non-uniform redistribution. Which will be redistributed non-uniformly? Light intensity. What is intensity? Intensity also you will get it in chapter. So waves only. Intensity means so amount of energy. So light energy, amount of energy transmitted per second. No need to write this. Per second, per unit area. So this is the definition for intensity. Intensity definition there you studied. Amount of energy transmitted per second per unit area. So this is called as intensity. Where A is the area of cross section. So we will get the intensity value I in sound chapter, which is 2 into pi into so f square into a square. So f square into a square into we will get the formula into V. So this is the formula for intensity. Here where A is the amplitude, intensity value directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Intensity means how much amount of energy transmitted per second per unit area. So intensity value directly proportional to square of the amplitude. It is directly proportional to where small a is called as amplitude square. What is amplitude? Amplitude means what? If a particle executing SHM, so amplitude is nothing but the maximum displacement from the mean position. So maximum displacement from the mean position. From which position? From the mean position. So this is called as amplitude. Okay, Nara? The intensity, how much amount of energy transmitted, is directly proportional to intensity. So that intensity directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Just you should know what is intensity. So light is also form of energy which will be transferred in the form of transverse wave. So that phenomena of non-uniform redistribution of light intensity, where light intensity will be redistributed, not everywhere. It is redistributed only in a region where so light rays are superimposing. How many light rays are superimposing? To get the interference, minimum we needed 2 light waves, maximum more than 2 also. So 2 or more waves. When 2 or more waves reaching a point simultaneously, then the light intensity will be redistributed. So in that region, that phenomenon name is called as interference. So where we can come across this interference? So practically, have you ever seen whenever oil is spread over on the surface of the water? So whenever oil spread over on the surface of the water, you can see, so in daytime if you see that, now for example on that road some oil is spread over, some diesel or petrol is spread over. Now some water was there, so in water fall down on that. Now the water will not mix up with the oil. So you can see some colors there. That colors are because of interference of light only. And one more important one is, so colors in a soap bubble. You can see the colors in a soap bubble is there now. So that colors also because of interference of light. Are you getting Ara? So this is the definition for interference. Interference definition, okay na? When interference will occur, so 2 or more ways should superimpose. Okay Nara? Based on, now this is the definition for interference. So types of interference. Generally, so based on the ways how they superimpose, interference is of mainly 2 types. One is of constructive interference. So constructive interference, and another one is of destructive interference. So what is constructive interference? When 2 waves are superimposing in a such a way that the resultant amplitude is maximum. If the amplitude is maximum, the resultant amplitude is maximum. That is, intensity is maximum. So can I write, instead of amplitude, the resultant intensity is maximum. Intensity is maximum. So that is called as constructive interference. So how light rays should interfere? The light rays should interfere in a such a way that, so their resultant intensity is maximum. That interference is called as constructive interference. When it is called as destructive interference, the light waves are superimposed in a such a way that the resultant intensity is minimum, or I can also call it as resultant intensity is 0. Then you can call that is destructive interference. Again, the resultant intensity depends upon resultant displacement or amplitude. So resultant displacement value depends upon how light waves are superimposing. Are they superimposing in phase or out of phase? In phase means so constructive, out of phase means destructive. So again, in interference is of how many types? Based on the superimposing waves, interference is of 2 types. So that is constructive and destructive. Actually, in this region of superposition, what we can able to see, we can see some color pattern. We can see some bright bands alternate to bright and dark bands. So empty space is of bright and here it is of dark. In this region, you can see some alternate to bright and dark fringes, bands will be there. They only called as so interference fringes. That will come to know. Just so you should know, interference is of how many types? 2 types. One is constructive, other is destructive. When it is called as constructive, intensity value maximum. When it is called as destructive, so intensity value either, here I can also call intensity is minimum. So minimum, it is not always 0, but 0 no agbodu. When it will be 0, we will discuss. So this is constructive and destructive. That is interference. In order to produce the interference, we needed a minimum of how many sources? 2 sources are there. In order to produce the interference, the 2 sources of light should be coherent sources. Coherent, coherent sources. What is the meaning of coherent sources? Does the light coming from any 2 sources? Now I will take, sir, in a room I will keep 2 electric bulb. Can I see the color pattern? No. In order to see the interference pattern, the sources are the coherent sources. What is the meaning of coherent sources? The 2 sources are said to be coherent sources if they emit the light. The sources which emits the light of same wavelength or frequency, same wavelength or frequency with a constant or 0 phase difference. This point is very important. Phase difference with a constant or 0 phase difference. What is phase difference? You know. So what is the meaning of phase? Whenever a particle, now wave is propagating through medium, the particle of the medium will start moving. It will execute a oscillatory motion. If I call the motion is a simple harmonic motion, then particle may be at mean position or extreme position, mean position, extreme position, opposite direction, mean position. So this state or condition of the particle will be expressed in terms of, so either pi or either in terms of t. So we can write here phase value is 0. So corresponding to this, the phase value pi by 2. Here the phase value pi. Here phase value is 3 pi by 2. And here the phase value is 2 pi. Are you getting it? So whenever a particle executing oscillatory motion, the state or condition regarding the position of the particle is called as phase. Now what should happen? Whenever, in order to produce the interference, the light emitting from the 2 sources, the phase difference between the 2 light waves. So should be remains either 0 or constant. Then only you can produce the interference pattern. Such sources are called as coherent sources. These sources coherent sources. Definition is very important for 1 mark. What is the meaning of coherent sources? When sources are said to be coherent sources, the two or more sources which emit the light of same wavelength or frequency with a constant or 0, which one? So phase difference. This is called as coherent sources. So, and one more important point is, in order to produce the interference pattern, the coherent sources, the light emitted by the coherent sources should be monochromatic. So light emitted by coherent sources so must be monochromatic. So what is the meaning of monochromatic? Means single wavelength. Why it should be of monochromatic, will come to know. And some important point regarding these coherent sources. The first one is two different sources. If I consider two different sources, two separate sources never be coherent. So they will never be coherent sources. When you consider two electric bulbs in a room, can you see interference pattern? No. So why? Two different sources. When I consider the two different sources, they may not emit the light of same wavelength or frequency. Though wavelength and frequency is same, but they could not maintain the phase difference value either constant or 0. That's why they will never be a coherent sources. There are many methods are there to produce the coherent sources. So two sources which are derived from a single source. So derived from single source. From which source? From single source, or always coherent sources. So by using some method, when a single source is divided into two sources, that two sources will be coherent. If any change in the given source, so light coming from the two sources also will be changed by the same extent. That's why the phase value remains constant or 0. So for example, here I can show this is my single source. Now I consider in front of the single source one more slit with the two holes. Now this is a source S. Now S1 and S2. So S1 and S2 are derived from the S. Now S1 and S2 are the coherent sources. Then light coming from S1 and S2 will will superimpose and will form a interference. So this is the information you should get it regarding coherent sources. In order to get the interference pattern, the two sources of light should be coherent, and they should emit the light of single wavelength or frequency, that is monochromatic light. So today we will discuss regarding one important that one is, what is the theory of interference. So theory of interference. So what is the theory of interference? In this theory of interference, we will come to know what is the condition for the constructive interference and what is the condition for the destructive interference. In order to, so this is very important topic for 3 marks. In this theory of interference, what we needed two sources of light. So one is S1 and other is S2. So light coming from S1, the displacement value let me call Y1, and coming from S2, displacement value let me call Y2. Let us suppose the two waves are simple harmonic waves. Then Y1 value given by A1 into sine omega t, where A1 is the amplitude of the first wave and Y2 is equal to A2 into sine of omega t plus phi. What is phi? The phase difference between the two waves. Initially, what is the phase difference between the two waves is equal to phi. When these two waves will superimpose and give you interference, means if this phase difference value either 0 or constant, then only you will get interference, otherwise you will not get. Now what I want to derive, so according to the principle of superposition, now what should happen? So these two waves should reaching a point simultaneously. So then according to which one? Principle of superposition. According to principle of superposition principle is given by y is equal to y1 plus y2. Here I am not considering so direction, but I will get it. Y is equal to y1 plus y2. So sir, why you not consider the vector form? I am writing in terms of the phase difference. That phase value only will give you whether to add or subtract. Then y value is equal to y1 value a1 into sine omega t plus y2 value given by so a2 into sine of omega t plus phi. Right, Ara? So from this what I will get? Can I write y1 is equal to a1 into sine omega t plus, can I write a2 into sine omega t? Can I expand sine a plus b? Sine omega t into cos phi plus cos omega t into sine phi. I am writing the formula sine a plus b. Sine a plus b is equal to sine a into cos b plus cos a into sine b. So what I will get the answer? a1 into sine omega t plus a2 into sine omega t into cos phi plus a2 into cos omega t into sin phi. Can I write? Now in this a1 sin omega t, here also sin omega t is there. So can I take the common sin omega t? So if I take the common of sin omega t, then what is left given by a1 plus a2 into cos phi plus what is left? Plus a2 into cos omega t into sin phi. This is one trigonometrical equation. So in order to solve this trigonometrical equation, in trigonometry we'll go with the substitution method. So what is the substitution method? I will call this as equation 1. Let a1 plus a2 into cos phi is equal to r into cos theta. Actually a1 and a2 are the amplitude of the two waves. So in place of a1 plus a2 I written r, where r is called as resultant amplitude. So and resultant phase angle after superposition, what is the resultant phase value? I am calling theta. Before superposition was it is a phase reference phi. After superposition what is the phase reference? Theta. So can I call it as equation 2? And one more assumption I will make, and a2 into sin phi I am calling it as r into sin theta. So these are the two assumptions I made, two considerations I did. In trigonometry, in order to solve a trigonometrical equation, so I am going with the substitution method. Till now understood, Ara? So now I will substitute. I will continue the remaining here. When I substitute this equation 2 and 3 in 1, so tell me what I will get? Substituting equations 2 and 3 in equation 1. So tell me what I will get? Y is equal to, so what happened to first equation? R into sin omega t into cos theta plus r into cos omega t into sin theta. So what I will get the answer for y? If I take r common, this is r sin omega t plus theta, sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Initially I consider two waves which are going to be superimposed or simple harmonic waves. Now after superposition also the resultant wave is also a simple harmonic wave with the resultant amplitude value is r, resultant phase angle value equal to theta. This equation looks somewhat similar to, so in vectors, parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, Nara? So y value is equal to r into sin omega t plus theta. This is the equation for resultant amplitude. Only you have to so careful regarding equation 2 and equation 3. Now how can I calculate expression for the resultant amplitude? How can I calculate expression for resultant resultant amplitude. In order to calculate the resultant amplitude, so what I am doing is adding and squaring equation 2 and 3. So 2 square plus 3 square. Square the equation 2. So 2 square plus 3 square, which will implies. So what is 2 square and 3 square? I should add LHS squaring, RHS squaring, then adding. So what I will get the answer? A1 plus A2 into cos phi whole square plus A2 into sin phi whole square. This is squaring of LHS. Will be equal to R square into cos square theta plus R square into sin square theta. Can I write? So how I did this? Adding and squaring and adding which equations? So equation which one 2 and 3. Then what I will get? Can I write this term this side? So I will get R square common. So what I will get? Sin square theta plus cos square theta. So is equal to this side what I will get? So A1 square plus A2 square into so cos square phi plus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos phi plus A2 square into sin square phi. From this what I will get? So sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, which is equal to A1 square plus A2 square. Actually here A2 square cos square phi, A2 square sin square phi. If I take A2 square common, so which is A2 square, so that is cos square phi, A2 square common, then what I will get? Cos square phi plus sin square phi, that is the common term, plus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos phi. So what I will get the answer for R value given by root over, so A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 into A1 into A2 into which one? Cos phi. So this is the expression for the resultant amplitude. This expression is similar to that of vectors, addition of two vectors. If P and Q are the two vectors, theta is the angle between the vectors, R is equal to root over P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. Can you remember that theta is the angle between the vectors? Here the resultant amplitude value given by A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos phi, where phi is the phase angle between the two vectors. This is the expression for resultant amplitude. Okay, Nara? After calculating the resultant amplitude, I want to calculate what is the resultant phase angle. That is only for magnitude. In vectors, there we calculate a direction. What is the resultant? So resultant amplitude, resultant phase angle. What is the resultant phase angle? To calculate the resultant phase angle, divide equation 2 with equation 1. What is equation 2? R into sin theta by R into cos theta will be equal to A2 into sin phi divided by A1 plus A2 into cos phi, which is nothing but RR cancel, then tan theta is equal to A2 into sin phi divided by A1 plus A2 into cos phi. Actually whatever it may be, even displacement also vector, na? So that vector displacement vectors can be added. Now here actually what I want to calculate, two waves are given. A1 is the first wave amplitude, A2 is the second wave amplitude, and phi is their phase angle. Then I can calculate what is the resultant amplitude value. Then I can calculate what is the resultant phase value. Resultant amplitude value according to parallelogram law, A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 into cos phi, and resultant phase angle is, if this resultant R value making an angle, which one? Making an angle theta with A1, then I will get the formula for tan theta, A2 into sin phi divided by A1 plus A2 into cos phi. The formula is same as that of, so tan theta is equal to Q into sin theta divided by P plus Q into cos theta. Can you remember this? So therefore we got the expression for which one? We got the expression for whenever two waves are superimposing. What is the expression for resultant amplitude and resultant phase angle. So in this theory of interference, that 2 points are important for us. What is the resultant amplitude value and what is the resultant intensity value? So now I will write, so now I will remember. So what is R value? R is equal to root over A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos phi, amplitude formula. Even we will not use resultant phase angle much, but that also I am writing resultant phase angle tan theta is given by, so A2 into sin phi divided by A1 plus A2 into which one, cos phi. So these two formulas keep in mind. So this is the conclusion for the theory of interference. Now based on this conclusion, what is the condition for, so what are the condition for constructive interference? Which one? Condition for constructive interference. When interference is said to be constructive, if two waves are superimposing in phase such that the resultant amplitude value for constructive interference, R value is equal to R max. Actually, for constructive interference, I value is equal to I max, intensity value maximum. For I value is equal to I max, R value should be equal to R max. In order to become R value maximum, you know this. So R value maximum, R value not only depends upon A1 and A2 value, but also depends upon the phase angle. For R is equal to R max, so what is the value of cos phi? The value of cos phi should be equal to plus 1. So cos phi value is equal to plus 1 means, so phi value will be equal to, so cos which value will be equal to plus 1? Cos 0 value equal to plus 1, cos next to which value I will get so cos value, so next to which one I will get so cos 2 pi value, 360 degrees value, like 4 pi value, like so and so. So phi value should be equal to 2n pi. If phi value is equal to 2n pi, where n value starting with where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, so and so. So whenever a phase angle value will be equal to, so 2n times the, so which is the phase angle value will be equal to 2 pi times the an integer multiple. 2 pi times the an integer multiple. So what happened? The resultant intensity. Now whenever cos phi value is equal to 0, so what happened to R max? R maximum value is A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 into A1 into A2 under root. So it will become R maximum, so is equal to A1 plus A2 whole square. So that is what I will get the answer. R maximum is equal to A1 plus A2. Understood, Ara? Since I maximum directly proportional to R maximum square, so what I will get? I maximum value will be equal to, so A1 plus A2 whole square. This is the expression for maximum intensity. Just you should know, whenever I told interference is constructive, for constructive interference, the phase difference between the two superimposing waves should be an integer multiple of 2 pi, then interference is constructive. When interference is constructive, resultant amplitude value and resultant intensity value is maximum. And you can also write this condition, so in terms of path reference. So now we'll write this part, last point for this class. So you know that, so what is the relation between the phase reference and path reference? Phase reference value is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path reference, This is the relation between phase reference and path reference. So if I call the path reference is delta x, path reference value is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi into phase reference. Now I know to get the constructive interference, phase reference value equal to 2 pi, then the path reference, can I call path reference is simply x. So path reference x here, phase difference is phi, path reference is x. Then x value is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi into what is the phase reference value? 2n pi. So 2 pi cancel, x is equal to n lambda, where n value starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. So whenever if they ask the condition for constructive interference, You have to write in terms of phase difference and you have to write in terms of path reference. Even this question very important for 2 marks. Write down the condition for constructive interference in terms of path reference, in terms of phase difference. To get the constructive interference, phase difference value should be equal to 2n pi and path reference value should be equal to n pi, n lambda. Phase difference is equal to integer multiple of 2 pi, path reference is equal to, so integer multiple of lambda. Then interference is constructive. Whenever a two ways are superimposed, like in vectors, when two vectors are parallel, resultant resultant vector is maximum. R maximum formula A plus B. Like here, when interference is constructive means, so two ways superimposed in phase. Are you getting it? So for constructive interference, for R value maximum in vectors, theta value 0. But here for constructive interference, that phase value should be equal to either 2n pi, the path reference value will be equal to n lambda. What is phase difference? The difference in the phase angles of two ways. What is path reference? The difference in the distance covered by the two ways. If the phase difference value is equal to 2n pi or path reference value is equal to n lambda, the interference is said to be constructive. So tomorrow class we will discuss regarding destructive interference. Okay, Nara? If anything not understood, you ask in group. Listen the class carefully, and for the wave optics you needed more patience. Simply without patience, without concentration, if you hear also, you cannot get it the class properly. Okay, na? So we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.